this video we're going to create this dashboard design from scratch using Figma. Now, just before we get started, I want to remind you that this screen was inspired by a UI kit which I recently released for free, which you can find in the link in the description. But now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so let's get started. And the very first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to create a frame which is going to be in the desktop size 1440 pixels, since that is a good way to start a dashboard. In my opinion, it's a good size. There isn't really a fixed size that you should use, but this is a good place to start because it's not too wide nor too narrow. So we're going to go ahead and create the side menu as the very first thing. So I'm simply going to add a rectangle over here, and I'm going to make it completely white and also add a little bit of a drop shadow so that we have this nice effect going on. And it's going to be very light. So as you can see, I'm adding a little bit of blur so that it extends out. And I'm going to reduce the opacity just a little bit so that we have around 10%, so that it's barely visible. It's going to add that separation touch to it. And we're also going to change the background color so that the element of the side menu is going to really stand out. It's almost going to create this 3D effect, which is going to enhance the user experience overall. So we're going to make it slightly towards a blue tint so that it's not just a dull, boring gray. And we're going to have just a tiny bit of color in there. And I'm actually going to change the color of the page to white, just so that they can better see what's going on. And at this point, I'm going to add a circle here on the top and the lips. And we are going to add the image of a profile of a person, of course. So I'm going to go here under the plugins and I'm going to write free pick. And you can also use Unsplash for these type of things. It works totally fine. I'm going to write in portrait, and let's see what free pick has for us. It's taking a bit. It's a bit weird. Should I go with another one? Yeah, for some reason it's not loading. Keeping it real. I'm not going to really change much. So let's go on Unsplash. I'm going to search for portrait. And I want the portrait around these lines where we have some white. Oops, that was a little bit too much. I haven't selected the circle. And but that's not a problem. So we're going to reduce the size. And I'm going to use Option Alt or actually Option Command plus C in order to copy the style. Or alternatively, you can right click, copy properties, and then Option Command V in order to paste it inside of this element. Or you could have simply go here and paste properties. So that's good. And now we're going to add a text, which is going to be quite smaller than that for sure. And I'm going to use this text. So let's write Marta S. As you can see, it's super high. So I'm going to simply click on or type in auto in the line height, and that should solve it. I'm using Poppins because it's a good font for user interfaces, works well on smaller devices as well, and it's a free Google Web font, so you can download it for free. So type in on Google Poppins and you're going to find it right away. Cool. Now it's time to add a menu. So I'm going to add here a line, center this, And I'm going to simply give it a little bit of a gray element over here. And we're going to auto layout these so that it's all nice and tidy. Auto layout again. So what I did was just using Shift plus A in order to create the auto layout. So I created the first auto layout for these two guys. Then there is another one for the line. And now we're simply going to add the labels, which are going to be different visually than the actual menu items. So I'm going to make this in no caps. I'm going to increase the letter spacing just a bit, making this medium. And I'm going to bring myself over here. And let's make this one in a light gray, since we don't really have to. Actually, let's call it menu. Makes more sense. Labels. Doesn't make much sense. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to have a few different labels or menu items for the inbox. I'll make it just a little bit smaller. And we're going to grab the icons from the other UI that I have. So simply going to add over here send graphs. So I'm basically putting here all of the menu items, favorite, graphs again. That was okay. So we're going to add a few duplicates just for the sake of the explanation, and then I just copied the icons. Now, in your case, you're wondering, okay, cool. I don't have this magic ability of simply copying icons. What do I do? A few different options they usually use for icons. Either go on noun project if I need a specific, more illustrative icon. These are usually for one-off icons, but noun project has probably like the most extensive icon library out there. Alternatively, super recommend Nucleo icons. If you've been a follower of the channel for a while, you know that I use Nucleo icons all the time. You can even have specific icon libraries, such as Google Material icons. You can upload them, and it's just that library. You can have infinite amount of libraries. So definitely check it out, and or you can use any other resource that you want for icons. There's also plenty of free icon files in the Figma community. So you can also go down that route, and simply going to add over here all the menu icons. For the sake of this purpose, I'm simply going to auto layout all of these guys so that, it's going to be nice and clean. And let's auto layout these. Cool. Now, as these are all auto layouts, I'm simply going to select all of these and click on auto layout, and we have them. Perfect. So I'm going to add them over here below the line, and I'm going to create an auto layout out of this group so that I can left align it, and boom, we have our menu with the auto layout. What I realized is that I miss a profile, edit profile, call to action. So I'm going to add it right here. I'm going to make this in a blue color. Maybe let's auto layout this as well so that we can decrease the vertical height. And yeah, overall this is looking pretty good. What we need now is some good old buttons, and I'm going to add them right here. Going to just round them up just a little bit, and going to change the color to something around these lines. Blue color, that could work. And I'm going to write in here rate plan, and I'm going to make this white. And again, auto layout. We're going to duplicate this, write contact support, and let's change the color of the text, which I did using Ctrl+C in order to prompt the eyedropper tool. And I'm going to make this 10%, and we are in a good point. Cool. I think that vertically I want this to be a little bit less high. And the next step is going to be creating the actual calendar. So let's go ahead and let's do just that. Let's make it white, add maybe just a very tiny stroke over here. So that it adds this layer of separation between the background and the actual element. And just a little bit of corner radius, not too much. I'm going to add here November. Okay, cool. All right, this is looking good. And now I'm going to have the same text. So copy and paste the style, just like as we learned a moment ago. I'm going to write here Monday. Yep. And let's add a line, which is going to be the divider. And we're going to use the same color as we have here for the line. Let's duplicate this, get vertically, and I'm going to copy this a few times. Actually, we need so 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so small trick, you add the lines vertically on the sides, select all of it, distribute horizontal spacing, and we have the perfect structure for this calendar. All right. Going to have here Monday. So we're going to duplicate this real quick. I'm going to center align them so that it's going to be easier. And this is looking good. All right, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we have it. Cool. So going to auto layout these guys. Actually thinking if I want to do that. If I want to keep it loose. Let's keep it loose for the time being. And now I need to basically create these so that they are perfect rectangles. Quick way to do it is you can create a rectangle on top of it. and then you can bring this guy to the very bottom. Then I'm going to duplicate this one more time and create all the remaining ones. Cool. So I'm going to keep one of these rectangles just so we can create a selected state. And at this point, what we can do is we can add the different numbers. So I'm going to write here 0, 1, and I'm going to change this to regular. And what we want to do is to maintain the same size or spacing on the right-hand side. So spacing is going to be 14 pixels. I want to do the same also for these guys, but I'm going to use Command D just to copy these a few times. And then I'm going to adjust them manually just for this first round. So 14, again, 14. All right. So this is definitely heading in the right direction. 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 5, 0, 6, 0, 7. So at this point, we're simply going to copy all of these guys. These are going to have to be 10 pixels from the bottom. So we're going to copy them, make it 10 pixels, and again, 10 pixels. Okay, now at this point, simply need to add all the numbers. A little bit of a tedious process, but it's a one-off. No big deal. 13, 14, and this is part of the job. Sometimes you have to do these things which are going to be just a bit tedious, but hey, there's definitely worse things out there, so can't complain. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I have absolutely no idea how many days are in November. I'll just assume it's 30. It's probably incorrect. It's probably like 28, 29. 0, 1, 0, 2. So this is going to be December, and we're going to visually need to show that. So we're going to go and fill up those details in just a moment. So let's go over here. Let's make just like a disabled state. Yeah, something around these lines. And yeah, this is looking good. Now let's add a little bit of dynamism to this. So going to add a line over here. Let me make this guy in this color and 1.5. Now I'm just going to experiment, really. Just going to create like a few items. It's going across something like this. I'm going to write inside of it, let's say, name of this birthday party. I'm just going to have like a massive party spanning across many days. So do that, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to add with Control Command Spacebar. You can add the emojis, and I'm going to add a big emoji right here, and let's make this one be white, or even you can just keep this. I'm going to change the color. Yeah, something like that would be good. Let's make a span all the way across here. And probably I want this to be medium. Auto layout, auto layout. Cool. Now let's add a few more items. Example right here. We could have work meeting. Oh, or actually, let's add a phone. So it's going to be like that. And let's add this one right here. End of the year checklist. So we're just making stuff up. Haven't really planned for this, but it would be cool. Kind of add some elements just to make the design, less dull and really come up with something a bit more creative. So we're probably going to go with this theme. So for the other ones, and yeah, I'm trying to think about what other elements could we add or to make this even more visually interesting. So I think we had in the original these arrows, which essentially enable you to go through one month and the other. I think overall this this makes sense. I'm going to add another element here, which is going to have a different visual theme. So I'm going to write themes event. And let's add a calendar. Yeah, something like that. Let's make this white. Change this. Cool. Other things that we could add. Oh, so far so good. So cool. Overall, we have this screen. Can round it up just a little bit, make it better for the presentation side of things. I can show you also how I can how I usually present this type of slides on social media, or if I need to make it like more visually interesting, or for a client presentation. I wouldn't even go with the page um, page color. I just create like a massive frame over here, and I will simply use the color, and then I will create a gradient out of it. So you can see how you can easily then go ahead and change and make things even more visually interesting. I can change the gradient, something like that, and yeah, as you can see, this is already making a different visual effect overall. So cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, I want to remind you that I recently launched this Figma cheat sheet, which is available for free, together with the entire social dashboards UI kit, which is going to be available all in the description. So feel free to check it out, and I'll see you in the very next video.